Hello, HubSpot professionals. I'm Christian Bond, founder of Howly.io, the workflow visualizer and auditing tool for HubSpot workflows. For the month of July, we've shipped some new and exciting updates to the Howly platform. For one, we've removed the workflow limit for free accounts. So free users used to cap out 50 workflows. Now the entire portal is visible on the free plan. Data agent actions are also now surfaced directly on the canvas. If a workflow uses HubSpot's data agent or agent hub actions, Howly flags it right on the map, which was invisible before. The report also got a real upgrade. It now includes best practice recommendations and direct links to the relevant spots in HubSpot. So you go from finding a problem to fixing it in just one click. A UX and navigation pass also made it to make Howly even faster. There's better cache busting, so you're always looking at the freshest version of your portal. On the momentum side of things, HubSpot actually featured Howly, and we wrote a piece together on the HubSpot blog on the workflows every startup should build first. Let's talk a little bit about the data agent first. On your HubSpot map, under each workflow that you see here, whenever a workflow has a data agent action associated with it, you will see that being surfaced with the data agent icon. This is visible all throughout your canvas, and I've added a few data agent actions throughout here so we can see there's one on the added to list, there's one on the MQL form submission, there's one on the set as MQL. And if I am to click on this workflow and go into it in HubSpot, we can see here that it is surfaced by the data agent doing research, automatically generate and extract data from a variety of sources. This is a AI setting using HubSpot's data agent, which we can now surface directly on the Howly map, so you can see wherever that action is and how it has been surfaced. It's really interesting, right? Because as AI is starting to now be able to build and create workflows, generate data for you, reach out to contacts, etc., having a visualized map of all of your workflows in one place to see how they connect or interconnect through properties or lists or workflow enrollments, having that visibility as to which workflows actually use the data agent to surface new information makes it really easy to see and audit your platform. What we can even do is we can even add a note here. So this workflow uses data agent. Let's review that for the client. So I'm going to add a note here, just add it as a medium risk for now. We're going to add that note. And now when I hover over it, of course, we can see that this workflow uses data agent. Let's review that for the client. And as we're talking about actually auditing and going through workflows on the Canvas map, one of the other things that we shipped in the month of July was some great updates and huge value adds to our audit reports. The audit report has moved from the workflow health check. It was previously under here. It has now moved to the downloads section in the left-hand floating sidebar, where you can simply hit download audit report. When I click that button to download the audit report, I'm now taken to a brand new audit report that is completely customizable with your brand, with your name, with your colors, and so on. I'm going to move myself to the right side of the screen so we can get a better visibility as to what this audit report actually contains. So right from the get-go, we get the health score, which if we go back to Howly, we can see that health score is 77. It's a decent score. It's fine. We can also see when this report was last created. We can see the number of workflows that are in this HubSpot portal, and we can see who it was prepared by. If we want to make any changes to this, you can find that hover over the HubSpot Connected, click on Account, and then under Report Branding, you can even change your cover gradient. You can change your brand colors, your company name, and add your logo. If I save that, go back to the report and refresh, we should see an update immediately, at least with the gradient color for the cover there. What we surface in this audit report is an executive summary of all of the workflows that are in this portal. So from here, we can see we have a total of 84. There are 57 active workflows. That represents about 70% of the total number of workflows. We have 27 inactive workflows, and then we have 11 workflows with some critical issues. These critical issues are surfaced under the key issues requiring attention. So we can see that we have 5 circular dependencies, break the loop by adding a branch condition or removing the reciprocal trigger. If I am to go back into the actual HubSpot map here on Howley, we can see that under the health check, once the map has loaded, we can see the exact number of the circular dependencies. There are 5 here, and if I am to click on MQL promotion, for example, we can see that, okay, this is a loop because it not only starts, but it also is started by the recycle to nurture, SQL handoff, and MQL promotion. So we're flagging things that may not be visible in HubSpot today, especially if this is your first time seeing the client's portal and seeing the sheer number of workflows that they have across contacts and deals and companies and tickets, etc. The audit report here will surface all of the things that aren't visible from the map alone. We also see 4 broken enrollments. We see 39 standalone workflows, confirm whether these are intentional, and then we also see 14 duplicate actions and 3 stale workflows. Under the actual key findings and issues is where we see the key issues requiring attention to actually being able to do something about these issues. So we have some circular dependencies here across 5 workflows. So we have a workflow here called MQL promotion. And the cycle is that it writes from SQL handoff to recycle to nurture, but then the SQL handoff writes back to the MQL promotion. And we also see that we have the re-engagement trigger, which cycles through the re-engagement follow-up, which again, the re-engagement follow-up writes to the re-engagement trigger. So if this is something I want to go ahead and change, what the audit report can now do is allow you to click directly from the report and into HubSpot. So by me clicking on the re-engagement trigger, I now open that directly in HubSpot, and this allows me to make these changes as they come up, as they are critical issues. We also look at things like broken enrollments, where we have 4 workflows that are writing to inactive workflows here, and that's broken down by who they are and what they do. So we have a set as MQL workflow right here that enrolls into 2 inactive workflows. So one called MQL welcome and sales follow-up, and MQL follow-up and lead status update. I can click into this workflow again, and I can make my changes as I see them. Under standalone workflows, again, confirm if this is what it's supposed to do. We do see some more information that they feed into other workflows, but they're currently off, so that's why they are set as standalone for now. But this is an opportunity, again, to review and revise what your current HubSpot portal or client's HubSpot portal is doing. The report also now includes, it comes complete with recommendations for each section, which is great. And if I keep scrolling down here to the next section, we also now have the workflow analysis. Just like we went over in the executive summary, we saw a number of workflows, but we didn't see a number of workflows by type. And so this is where we can see, okay, we have 49 contact workflows, 20 deal workflows, 8 company workflows, and so on. And then as we scroll down, we can see the most complex workflows by number of actions associated with them. Again, workflows with the most action, highest maintenance overhead, and change risk. So if you change an action from any of these workflows, just make sure that it doesn't overlap with anything else that you're doing. And that's where a workflow mapper like Howley really comes into play, because you can use the impact analyzer to make any changes, or you can look at the map directly or add a planned workflow directly from the Canvas view. We also have a brand new look at the AI insights, where we're looking at the issues and gaps and opportunities and recommendations that are in any given HubSpot platform at any time. So this is run when you go over to the health check and you click on the AI workflow analysis. You want to run that audit. We review all of your workflows across the entire portal. So looking at things you're missing, what to fix first, and they're all named here. So you'll find all of that under the AI Insights layer in the audit report. We also have a brand new workflow connections section, which is where you see all of the most connected workflows, and we even draw the connection map directly for you. When you're working with a client or you're working with a brand new company, being able to surface this connection map upwards is extremely helpful for a few different reasons. Well, number one, we can see that I've purposely messed this portal up. So there are a lot of connections here. But if you are coming into a brand new portal for the first time, of course, you can see all the connections on the Howley map by toggling all connections. But to the C-level exec or the senior VP, having this view rather than showing Howley, the Howley map, having this connection map view directly as part of this report is extremely valuable because they can see immediately, okay, they may not be able to see what it is, but they will be able to see that, oh my God, we have clusters. This is a mess. We should fix it. So that is what the connection map includes. We also now have the workflow inventory, right? So these are just all the workflows and they're filtered by the ones that were last updated. We see they are also filtered by status, so active versus inactive. And again, this is just your standard list of all the workflows that you have. As I was adding notes earlier to the Howley Canvas map, we also saw that, again, I have a note here. These notes are now included under an SOP and documentation function directly in the audit report. So we have documented 10 out of the 84 workflows, and there are 5 that are flagged as high risk. And so the one that I just added is the added to list active customers, which we find right here is the first one created. So I said this workflow uses data agent. Let's review that for the client with a medium risk. Now, if I'm coming into a HubSpot portal for the first time and I'm in charge of reviewing workflows, of course, the first thing I want to do is toggle on all connections. And then I may want to go ahead and create my map and then create some documentation around that. But think about the end user of who's actually seeing this report, right? The C-level exec, the client, they may not necessarily care about seeing Howley and the cool map that we can create, but they might be interested in seeing, okay, we have some workflows here that are flagged as high risk. This is what we should prioritize when we're making changes. And so that is where you find that section. We also look at properties, so the most used properties across the entire portal. In this one, the most used property is lifecycle stage with 9 triggers and 17 actions. What we can use this for is we can go back into Howley, use the impact analyzer, click on lifecycle stage, and this is where we can see the actual workflows. So we can see, okay, that there are some workflows here that trigger enrollment when lifecycle stage is customer, evangelist, lead, MQL. We also have some workflows that are writing to lifecycle stage, meaning these workflows here, they set lifecycle stage to anything here. So we have the close one customer handoff, which starts here. And we can see in the action that it sets the lifecycle stage to customer. And so by going through the audit report here, we can see the most used properties across the portal are things like lifecycle stage, lead status, list membership. And so when you're auditing and reviewing on behalf of your own organization or a client, use the report in conjunction with the impact analyzer to see, okay, if I were to set up anything net new, a brand new workflow, new nurture program, what have you, look at what else might be triggered by you setting up that enrollment property, or if perhaps it is a piece of content that's being downloaded and you're setting lifecycle stage, if they've taken a certain action, look at what that lifecycle stage also enrolls, because you could have an issue where you already have a nurturer set up when lifecycle stage is marketing qualified lead. And if you're setting up something net new for the client that you weren't aware of before, well, now you have some race conditions and the end user, the recipient, perhaps are receiving 2 separate nurturers at the same time. So that is something where the audit report and Howley becomes really important because it allows you to make these changes in full confidence without having to go to HubSpot, look at all 200 workflows, clicking through to make sure that there's no overlap there. At the end of the report, we've also added a best practices section. And so this is where we look at, there are, of course, some workflows here that are temporary and they shouldn't be like that. But of course, we surface those, so those are ripe for deletion. But we also give you examples about what good naming conventions could look like, together with what the suggested folder structure might look like based on your portal. So for example, right, if I go into my HubSpot portal right now, into Howley, I can see that I have 49 contact workflows. And if I am to click into any workflow here in HubSpot, I can see that, well, I don't have any folder structure, actually. I have 86 workflows here, but there's just really nothing. And so what the Howley audit report now gives you is a complete suggested folder structure based on what you have in your HubSpot portal. So for example, under contacts, I might want to have some lifecycle folders, nurture folders, notifications, and ops. And so already there, I've created my object folders by type, but then I can also create what the individual workflows actually do and add them to the relevant folders. And so this is really important, right? As you are doing client-facing work, or perhaps the client has access to your HubSpot the client, of course, has access to their own HubSpot portal, but they want to see the work that's being done. We are surfacing the suggested folder structure based on what the client has in their portal. And at the very end, we have some recommended review cadence, so quarterly, post-campaign, and on handoff. So things like archive inactive workflows with no connections, rename temporary or draft workflows. And again, this is surfaced from what is right in your HubSpot portal at the time of creating the report. At the very end, I'm going to move myself to the other side again here. We have recommendations. And this is where you get not only the AI Insights recommendations, but also the best practices, the key findings and issues that we walk through. And we can see that, okay, there are 4 workflows flagged for broken enrollments. We have 5 workflows that are flagged for circular dependencies, 2 workflows that are empty, right? And so some that are stale, etc., right? So this is a list of recommendations and a summary of what is being presented upwards to the client with next steps. And what you can do from this recommendation section is you can also add your own notes or observations or recommendations. So let's say I want to say we will be cleaning up the folders and all of the inactive workflows as a first step. Once I do that, I now have added this note as an additional comment. And when I'm ready to present this upwards, I simply go to the very top. I can download this as an HTML, or I can save it as a PDF, and I can present that upwards to the client. So you will find all of the audit personalization, the branding under the account, under your account settings, where you will be able to add your logo, your organization's name, your brand colors, and all of that is reflected immediately in the report. And as another example, I can change the cover gradient again, and I can go back to the report. I can refresh that. It's going to generate the report for me again, and we can see the updates to the gradient. So this is all pending on your brand, and Howley just gives you that ability to brand it, make it easier, rather than having to create a new slide deck. So the very last thing I want to go over are some quick UX changes that we made across the app here. So for one, if I go under my health checker, we can see that the AI workflow analysis is now at the bottom of this section here. So you want to just run that audit. And then one thing is the planned workflow section has been moved under the create new. So you can create a new planned workflow right here. You can add that over there. And when, of course, you're adding this or going through it, this is just how that works, and that lives there now. The reason we added it there is because we're always looking to expand and add new exciting features to Howley. So now we have a dedicated draft module, if you want to call it that, and that's where you find that. After I delete this, the other thing that we've added is a search box up here. So before, there wasn't really a way to search across your workflows. And after having worked with our customers and some of our prospects when we've demoed, some workflows or some HubSpot portals have 12, 1,400 workflows at the same time. And that's a lot. That's crazy. And one of the things that we wanted to do is make sure that we could actually search for any workflow that we see in any portal here. And so if I search for things like nurture, okay, we have these workflows come up, and I can search for the direct. So I can search nurture sequence DB. I have that exact workflow by name, and I can click into that and I can make my changes and go to HubSpot, etc. If I don't want to click on search workflows, I can also hit the dash, and it's going to take me, or backspace. It's also going to take me to an additional search menu right here where I can search nurture program, nurture sequence DB, I think it was called. And if I go back here, we now have that again. So there's a few ways to search. So you can, of course, search directly in the box here, or you can hit backspace and find that. Under this menu too, we've also added recent changes. And so this is where you can find all of your workflows as they're being created in the past 30, 60, 90 days. And you can click into each one of these and they're going to take you directly to set workflow. As a very last thing, and I'm going to move myself one more time, is that under our filters, we have added the ability to create some more advanced filters. So we can now search directly by trigger type and what that type is. So if I want to search by, I want to search that the trigger type is lifecycle stage being customer across all of the workflows in my entire portal, I'm able to do that now. And I can see that there are 3 workflows right here who trigger enrollment when lifecycle stage is any of customers. All right, those are the new and exciting updates for July of 2026. Thank you for following along. There is a lot more good stuff in the works, and we will be updating every single month moving forward with new and exciting Howley updates to make your life in HubSpot, your client's life in HubSpot, so much easier, and we want to continue bringing value to you.